My name is Steve Zeltzer. I'm with the United Front Committee for a Labor Party. Today there are actions at bases in Italy. There are actions in Turkey and Japan. It's part of a global day of action at U.S. military bases. So this base, Travis Air Force Base, is the largest U.S. Military air transport base in the world. And out of this base comes military weapons that are going to Ukraine, that are going to Israel, that are going to Asia. And we're here today to say that this base needs to be shut down, as well as the bases, the 800 bases all over the world. So what is going on today? Today, the United States is, along with Israel, is committing a genocidal war on the people of Palestine, on Gaza. There's an illegal blockade of Gaza, which is under U.S. Israeli military occupation. So we're here today to say that this genocidal war against the Palestinian people has to end. The people of Palestine have a right to live in Palestine, and the occupation of Palestine by Israel with the support of the United States is outrageous, is a war crime. And the trillions of dollars that the United States is spending on war abroad is not to protect democracy, is not to protect the people of the world, it's to protect U.S. multinationals and the billionaires around the world. That's why we're there. At the same time, in this country, you have hundreds of thousands of people homeless, you have people who can't get health care, you have people who can't get a proper education. They're being forced into debt to go into education. So what is this all about? It's an imperialist war abroad, and it's nothing different from the wars the United States has conducted since 1889, when the United States invaded Cuba, invaded Guam, invaded the Puerto Rico for U.S. wars. It's about the occupation of the world. And we're saying here today, as millions of people around the world, enough is enough. We have to end the blockade of Gaza. We have to stop this military armada that the United States has sent to the Middle East. All the weapons that they've sent, all the aircraft carriers that they've sent to the Middle East are not to protect the workers of the Middle East. This U.S. military armada, naval armada, that they've sent 2 aircraft carriers, thousands and thousands of troops, is to protect the Israeli occupation, is to tell the people of the Middle East, we are going to control the situation. We're going to allow the genocide of the people of Gaza. This is an outrage, and we in the United States, they have to know, and they do know, there are thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people throughout the United States that are protesting this war. There are hundreds of thousands of people in the United States who say enough with U.S. militarism. We need to put the money, the resources to protect the people of this country. That's what this is about. And we are not going to end it. This is the beginning of a national campaign against the U.S. bases. The bases are for the purpose of war. That's what their purpose about. And the United States is pushing towards a world war. They're pushing towards a war against the people of China, against the people of Russia, against the people of the Middle East. Enough is enough. And we're also saying that the labor movement in this country, the unions, the AFL-CIO and the labor movement needs to have a general strike. We should shut this country down. Now, the U.S. government is non-functioning. There's a situation of a Congress which doesn't even have a leader. We're saying that they're going to shut the country down. There's going to be a government shutdown probably on November 17th. The Republicans want a government shutdown because they want to cut more programs, Social Security, health care. They want to cut benefits of people. Of this country, poor and working people. They want to attack public workers. That's their plan, and they're saying that. That's why they want a government shutdown. And we're saying when they have a government shutdown, what we need to do is we need to have a general strike.
My name is Lotus Shi Fong, and I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And unfortunately, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, North Dakota, there's a bunch of states with lots of federal land, lots of military bases. We have think tanks that deal with war. We have manufacturing facilities, also known as the defense companies or the military-industrial complex. And it's time to turn the global economy toward a peace economy instead of a war economy. The more you study war and the history of war, there is a reason that World War I, the Great War, led to World War II, and it feels like we're sleepwalking into World War III again. All the people here at Travis, this location is perfect to do alternative energy and could develop green vehicles, renewable energy, buses, public transit, trains. There's a lot of other ways to run the economy and give young people better options for a future that they will feel good about. So Concord Naval Weapons Station nearby was decommissioned. And remember the ships that used to sit out there in the Carquinez Strait? They're all gone now. McClellan up here was turned into an incubator for new ventures and enterprises. So it's time to get Beale Air Force Base out of the drone business, because young people don't want to be clicking the computer and kill people far away. And Travis here, it's going to be interesting to see if there's a new city that surrounds Travis and decides that they don't want to be next to where soldiers are shipped out to Japan, Okinawa, Guam, Pearl Harbor, and Hawaii, American Samoa, Palau. The U.S. empire can't exist without the bases in the Asia Pacific, going all the way back to the overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom. Then the Spanish-American War gave us Guam and Puerto Rico, and World War II, right, created the American Empire, took over from the British and the French. So besides Korea and China, where the U.S. intervened in both of those civil wars, our generation has been scarred with the Vietnam War, which never needed to happen. But Nixon did not want to pay the French to take over their Indochina empire, and so when Nixon delinked from gold, we opened up to this fiat currency, and the rest of the world knows the U.S. is living on credit and debt. And so it's time to rein in the military empire and build a global economy based on peace and not military and war. Oh, it's okay to have military in peacetime. They can do a lot of good things.
I'm Chris, I'm 16 years old. I came out here today because I don't support the things that are happening to Palestine. I know that this has been an ongoing thing for many years. It's coming on to about 80 years, and I just don't agree that we should have all of this genocide and stuff like that happening, because it's just unnecessary, and especially also against Israel, but more so their people. I don't agree with the Israeli government or even our government, to be honest. I believe that it's all just, especially on the American side, it's just profiteering off of this war. Israeli, I don't know too much about. Honestly, I don't know too much about the war over there, but I do know that on our side, we really have no real reason to support Israel, because right now Israel isn't the best, people. They're not good people, or the civilians are good people, but the government is just bad. And I just think that America doesn't need to fight wars that aren't theirs, and I think that it's a lot of just angry people who are angry at each other, and the civilians get stuck in the middle of it. And I think it's about time that we stop putting ourselves into situations that we don't need to be in, because at the end of the day, it's not our war, and it shouldn't be Israel's war. Palestine should just be left alone as their own people. Same thing with stuff like just really everywhere else that's occupied by all these other first world NATO countries and stuff like that. I just don't agree with it all, and I feel like we should just leave these countries alone that are in poverty, being bombed, just being completely demoralized by these missiles and all this war. It's not good. It's not good. I don't like it. I believe that the people should have a right to live in their own countries. I talk about stuff a lot with stuff like Nigeria and everything that's going on in Africa, where their people are being put down by big companies. Like, for example, there's this one called, if I can remember it, I forgot what it was called, but there's this jewelry company that takes advantage of all these minerals that come out of Africa, and they just sell it to all these Americans and all these first world people. And these first world people don't have a single clue where all these minerals are coming from. Their diamond rings, their emerald necklaces, it all comes from somewhere. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not coming from somewhere innocent. It's coming from child slavery, regular slavery. It's all just horrible stuff. And so I think that it's about time that people start to rise up against these big corporations and against these governments that are allowing themselves to be controlled by these corporations, because as people are dying in Israel and dying in Palestine and dying in all these other countries, people make money off of the stocks that rise. You've got Lockheed Martin that is in charge of armament for the military, all these other military contractors that just sell these weapons of mass destruction just so that innocent civilians can die. That's not right. So this is a call for the people, you know? We can't just sit here and stay idle while the rest of these civilians out there get killed. There needs to be an action. Not stuff like terrorism, not stuff like bombing. I just feel like if we get enough people and that proletarian power rises up, we can really make a difference.
Oh, there should be another entrance.
Yeah, it should be the north gate. But yeah, I don't have a lot to say. I'm not too educated on everything just yet, but I do plan on educating myself on all this stuff, as should all the other young people out there who are the world's future. Soon enough, we're going to have to take place in all these political roles and all these workers' roles. And I feel like it's necessary for the young people to be educated on stuff, because we are the ones who will be able to make a difference, just like everybody else here at this protest. And it's just about time.
I made this sign, Free Palestine, because they're over there getting bombed and killed and martyred. I've been watching videos of babies getting blown up. I've been keeping up with multiple news reporters on the ground. It's horrible conditions. Our government is funding Israel, which is just colonizers going in, bringing people that don't belong there. I'm a little nervous, but Free Palestine.